The silk of her wedding dress dragged across the marble floor as she lowered herself to her knees. Gasps rippled through the hall. Flowers stood frozen in tall, white vases. Music faltered. At the far end of the aisle, the groom did not move, and beside him, his mother watched, her face calm, her chin lifted, while the bride began to crawl. It was not part of any tradition. It was not a joke. It was a command. Before I tell you what happened next, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. And tell me where you're watching from, because stories like this travel farther when we carry them together. The hall smelled of roses and polished stone. Sunlight poured in through tall windows, cutting clean lines across the floor. Every guest sat stiff, unsure where to look. Phones were half raised, then lowered. No one spoke. The bride's hands trembled as they touched the cold marble. Each movement pulled the dress tighter around her legs. Each step forward felt heavier than the last. Her name was Mira. She had imagined this day quietly. No grand expectations, just a moment of peace, a promise. But as she reached the entrance, her mother-in-law stepped forward, blocking her path. The woman's voice was low, sharp, perfectly controlled. She said Mira had not earned the right to walk. Not yet. She said humility must be shown. In front of everyone. The groom looked away. Mira searched his face once. Just once. He did not meet her eyes. So she knelt. The aisle felt longer from the ground. Faces blurred into shadows. She noticed small things instead. Dust floating in sunlight. The faint crack in a tile. A petal crushed under her palm. Her breathing slowed, not from calm, but from choice. If she cried now, they would own it. She moved forward. At 20 seconds in, if you're still watching, like and comment. It helps stories like this reach people who need them. Whispers followed her like wind. Some guests clenched their fists. Some smiled politely. The mother-in-law remained standing, hands folded, as if watching a ceremony unfold exactly as planned. This was not anger. This was control. Mira's past flickered in her mind with each slow movement. Years of quiet endurance. Small humiliations swallowed whole, jokes that cut too deep. Invitations never extended, always told to wait, to adjust, to bend. She had learned how to be invisible without disappearing. At the altar, she stopped. She did not rush to stand. She stayed there, knees aching, dress stained with dust. The room waited. Even the music had fallen silent. The groom shifted uncomfortably. His mother's eyes narrowed. Mira rose slowly. When she stood, she did not brush off her dress. She did not look at the guests. She turned to the officiant and spoke softly. Her voice did not shake. Permission hung in the air. The officiant nodded, unsure. Mira reached into the small purse she had hidden beneath her bouquet. She took out a folded envelope, plain, white. She held it with both hands and turned toward her mother-in-law. "This is for you," she said. The woman hesitated, then took it. The paper felt heavier than it looked. Inside was a letter, and beneath it, copies of documents, medical records, bank statements, legal filings. The mother-in-law's face changed as she read. Color drained slowly. Her lips parted. Around them, guests leaned forward, sensing the shift but not yet understanding it. Years ago, before Mira entered the family, the mother-in-law had quietly taken loans in her son's name. She had hidden debts beneath false signatures. It was Mira who discovered it late one night while organizing paperwork. Mira who paid them off in silence. Mira who sold her own inheritance to protect the family name. She never told the groom. She never asked for thanks. The final page was a receipt, cleared, signed, dated. Mira spoke again, still calm. I was told to crawl today to prove my worth. I did. The hall felt suddenly smaller. The groom looked at the papers, then at his mother. Understanding struck him hard and late. His shoulders slumped. Shame settled where pride had lived. The mother-in-law's hands shook. She opened her mouth, but no sound came. Mira did not wait for an apology. She turned back to the aisle. She walked it again, this time upright. Her steps were steady. The dust no longer mattered. When she reached the entrance, she stopped. "I will not marry into a place where dignity is conditional," she said quietly. "But I forgive you." Then she left. No doors slammed, no voices rose, only the soft echo of her steps fading into sunlight. Outside, the air felt lighter. Mira paused, breathing deeply as if for the first time. Her dress was stained, her knees ached, but her back was straight. Behind her, a family sat in silence, surrounded by flowers that suddenly felt unnecessary. If this moment moved you, like comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. Your voice keeps these stories alive. Weeks later, the groom came to her door. He did not bring flowers. He brought an apology. It was real, but it was late. Mira listened. She nodded. She wished him peace. She closed the door gently. She chose herself. The mother-in-law never spoke of that day again, but those who were there said she changed, quieter, smaller somehow, as if power, once exposed, had lost its shape. Mira returned to ordinary life, work, mornings, silence that healed instead of hurt. She learned that dignity is not something others grant. It is something you carry, even when crawling. And sometimes, the quietest revenge is not destruction. It is truth, revealed calmly, and a life lived free. If this story moved you, like, comment, and share your Kindness Valley thoughts below. And subscribe for more untold stories. Because the strongest people don't rise by stepping on others. They rise by standing up when it finally matters.